Did you hear about the MAGA mom that's really upset that her mother-in-law won't give them money because their SNAP benefits were cut? Ma'am, you quite literally voted for this. Now listen, I would have those kids at my house 3 times a day, giving them meals and filling those bellies. But give you money? Absolutely fucking not. And the reason you voted for this, even though you're disabled, your husband is a veteran, he's in school, and you have a special needs child, etc., 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 and you are also running out of formula, you still voted for this because you thought it would only affect other people. You quite literally thought he was going to take care of his base, and it might happen to like minorities, or liberals, but it wouldn't happen to you. Well, it did happen to you. So while I would be feeding those kids 3 meals a day and making sure those bellies were full, you would get not one dime from me, ma'am.
A post is going viral after a MAGA mom who's on SNAP benefits called out her family for not lending her money for groceries. In this Facebook post, this mom said that her husband is on the GI Bill and she has 2 kids. She continues by saying she's at her wit's end and she's overwhelmed and doesn't know what to do. She said that she asked her husband's mom, and the mom responded with, "You voted for this."
Or to ask them to help her buy groceries, right? And the response from her family was, well, isn't this what you voted for? And in theory, people would say no. A lot of his supporters would say no, but essentially, yes, it is. It is what you voted for because this is what he's been saying that he was going to do all along. It's just you guys didn't want to listen to people who said that he was going to do this shit. And now that he's doing this shit, you guys want to turn around and be like, "Oh, we can't believe it." Welcome to the club, bro. We knew this shit about this dude. This dude is not for government programs for Americans that actually help out Americans.
Hello, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Now, this particular situation quite reminds me of a video I once came across of a Kenyan politician who was in the opposition back in the days, and he was reminding his fellow politicians in the government that governments have a tendency of punishing its own children than even those that oppose it. Now, so a MAGA mom has gone viral for reasons obviously she did not hope for. So she hit social media crying because, and listen to this, her own family refused to lend her money for groceries after her SNAP benefits got suspended. And the response from the family, this is what you voted for. And Americans are roasting this situation left, right, and center. And this is yet another moment where MAGA voters are waking up to the painful reality that they voted against themselves, thinking that they were punishing everybody else, black people, the immigrants, everybody else but themselves. But it has just occurred to them that they're punishing themselves harder than they're doing it to anybody else in America. So let's watch what people have been saying about this, and we'll be back with some good commentary. Stay tuned.
Do you ever notice karma always shows up wearing a red hat? Because this is that. A MAGA mom is melting down online after realizing her Make America Great Again vote came with an expiration date on her groceries. Sis is on SNAP and WIC, crying that she can't afford baby formula, rent, or food. And her own mother told her, "We voted for this." I mean, how do you clap back to the truth? She's typing paragraphs about how anxious she is, how the shutdown hit her husband's GI Bill, and how her kids are hungry. Meanwhile, the rest of us are watching this in 4K like, girl, weren't you cheering when others were struggling? Now she's mad that her family won't lend her grocery money. The same family that told everyone else to work harder and stop depending on handouts. Funny how bootstraps snap when it's your turn to pull. And the internet is roasting her, and rightfully so. Because every election, people like her vote against their own interests. And when the consequences finally hit home, suddenly, we're struggling. And it's not fair. This is called fuck around and find out, sweetheart. What's unfair is pretending you're above every system you rely on until it stops serving you. MAGA said they didn't want to help people, and now they don't. Enjoy the America you built.
Yo, in today's episode of As the White Hood Turns, have you seen that viral video going around of that MAGA voter who is mad that her family won't lend her money for groceries because they done cut off her SNAP benefits? Now, I love a good MAGA fuck around and find out. I love it. I love this for them. But what makes this even better is that there are also videos and pictures circulating of the Halloween party that Syphilitic Sid threw last night. But he don't give a damn that the people out here ain't got no food. They ain't got no benefits. I promise you, they woke up this morning to that notification that their SNAP benefits had been suspended. Now this lady out here begging her family, and she went off on her mother-in-law because her mother-in-law refused to lend her money to buy groceries. Her mother-in-law told her, too bad, so sad. You voted for this. Figure it out. But this just goes back to they thought only black and brown people would suffer.
Hell hath no fury like a MAGA mom that can't feed her kids, and that is coming, so stay tuned. Yes, if you have been following the news today, you know that as of November 1st, there is no more money for SNAP benefits. And that is going to be a problem for Donald Trump. That's going to be a problem for Republicans writ large. Because I don't think they know who their voters are. Because of the 10 states that received the most money in SNAP benefits, 7 of them voted for Donald Trump. And 60% of SNAP recipients live in a county that Donald Trump won. So those numbers, not great for Republicans. Because polling is showing that most Americans, about 73% of them, are largely putting the shutdown on the shoulders of Republicans. Now, Donald Trump is somehow staying immune from this, but Republicans, especially in Congress, well, not so much them. Add to that the fact that 78% of American voters, including 56% of Republican voters, support extending those subsidies. So, those are not great numbers for Republicans. An additional little hiccup to that, about 54% of the people whose health insurance premiums will double or triple also live in districts that Donald Trump won. Put all of that together, and what does it say? It means that the people very specifically who voted for Donald Trump are about to be very specifically harmed by Donald Trump. And then, another fun fact, as of November 1st, there's no more money to pay active duty military members. But as of November 1st, there's no more money to even play with. There's nothing they can even do. They are flat out of money, including out of money per SNAP benefits. Many states are already sending out warnings to people and recipients of SNAP benefits that there's no money come November 1st. You can't feed your kids anymore because the government is shut down.
As simple as that chart may be for the rest of us to understand, MAGA can't seem to get it through their thick red hats. And today's MAGA victim of effing around and finding out is none other than one MAGA mom and SNAP beneficiary who's going absolutely viral right now for blasting her family after they refused to lend her money for groceries. And this quickly sparked some fierce debate online, with some commenters saying that the family was being cold-blooded for denying her the food money, and others landing in the camp of, hey, you voted for this. I'm curious to hear all of what you guys think in those comments down below, which while you're there, be sure to smash like and subscribe, but I personally land a little bit along the lines of this commenter. I sympathize with them if they're struggling, but at the same time, what the fuck did you expect? Alright, let's break it down from the beginning. I don't usually get my news from BuzzFeed, but I can't lie to you, I couldn't pass this up. A Facebook post from a MAGA voter on Snap is going viral after she called out her mother-in-law for refusing to lend her grocery money because she decided to vote for Donald Trump. People had a lot to say, and many users questioned the woman's decision to vote for Donald Trump, given her use of numerous government-funded programs. For some reason, I'm in a kind mood today, and BuzzFeed and Yahoo News both decided to blur this woman's photo and name, so let's just dive into the full post of what she said online. This MAGA mom writes, "I'm so anxious about this whole shutdown. My husband's veteran. I assume she means my husband's a veteran, though that is not how that is grammatically said or spelled. My husband's a veteran using his GI Bill for school. which that's affected, and we get good stamps since I'm disabled and he's in school. I'm not laughing at the disabled, I'm laughing at the fact that she can't spell. We have 2 kids. One is 2, and we're waiting to get her tested for autism. She's a picky eater. I've tried other foods, but in the end, I give up because I don't want any more screaming. My 6-month-old is starting purees. Yes, we get WIC. WIC is the food stamps benefits for women and children, but still, I don't know how we're going to pay rent, let alone our bills, and get food. I do cook everything from scratch, and I've been adding rice, beans, or noodles to stretch it out. I'm just at my wit's end, and I'm overwhelmed. Plus, we're almost out of formula. He asked his mother to buy a can until our WIC comes in. Her response was, "We voted for this." And that post apparently blew up, with people in the comments jumping in and sharing a wide range of opinions. One user, who I guess found the post on Reddit, said here they were fine when other people were going to suffer. Other users, though, sympathized with the woman, calling the mother-in-law cold-blooded for refusing to help, saying, "Cold-blooded, but I don't blame the mother-in-law."
This is a funny story. Like... Oh my goodness. Literally, people, I want to know, what would you do? Like, seriously. What would you do? Is this something, like, would you hold it against a person? I think I would. I'm not gonna lie, I think I would. Like, and everybody voted for Trump. This is y'all demise.
You know, I myself am guilty of being one of those people who keep saying, well, this new thing happened. Is MAGA gonna get it yet? Are the Republican voters finally gonna wake up and see what they're stepping in? And while a few of them do seem to trickle away as time goes by, the majority of them just keep making excuses. The most recent thing is with the SNAP benefits that Trump is taking away from people. He told the Republicans not to negotiate with Democrats. So the Republicans let the government shut down on purpose so Trump could continue cutting a bunch of benefits and firing thousands of people pretty much with no consequence. But now we simultaneously have people on the right who are making videos going, oh no, all these people can't get you free money, oh no. And the other half going, where are my food stamps? We keep talking about the snake eating its own tail, but it's more like a hydra with tons of heads where they each keep trying to eat each other. But it is still so funny to me that when Trump takes away benefits from poor people, the poor people will still support him and other billionaires. Just like when Trump takes away their Social Security and their Medicare, they make excuses for him and then they go, why are the Democrats taking away my Medicare? It's just like the ones who are always complaining about the government and people getting handouts are always the ones complaining that they haven't gotten their Social Security check yet. And yet every single time the Republicans screw these people over, they continue to vote them back into office. And I will never understand that.
My food stamps went from $4,400 in food stamps every month to $38. What am I supposed to get with $38 with 6 kids? How the hell am I supposed to support my kids on $38 in food stamps? Not to mention our disability checks on hold. Our Section 8, my rent isn't getting paid tomorrow. So I have to come up with $1,100. Okay? I am allergic to work. I can't work. I refuse to work. The whole reason I had kids was the amount of government benefits that you get for one child. And now, with the dependent age being 7 and younger, none of my kids are dependents now. None of them, because they're all older than 7. So how am I supposed to live? How do I feed my kids on $38? This is not okay. Not okay.
Okay, now let's start with the irony, because you honestly can write a script funnier than the real American politics of right now, of this Donald Trump regime. So for many years, MAGA voters have been sold this idea that social programs like SNAPs were being abused by minorities, yeah? And they swallowed this propaganda without thinking, without questioning, without trying to find the truth, that ending or restricting these programs would teach these people the minorities, black, brown, and I don't know, whoever else, they would teach them a lesson. But now with the Donald Trump, rolling out his policies and snap cuts rolling out under, the very policies they, as MAGA, cheered for, it is their own families, their own communities, their own pockets taking a big hit. And suddenly, the crying is all over, So, again, the welfare myth is getting busted, getting exposed. Here is the truth that MAGA voters have tried to avoid or would want to even continue to avoid, that the largest group on welfare in America has always been white people, and not black, not brown. Of course, minority immigrants are not even entitled. They are not even legally entitled, so they are not anywhere there. So data, this kind of data is in public domain, and history in itself is clear that welfare was started way before black people could even benefit from it. So it cannot have been for black people if it began way before they could even benefit from the same. So, but instead of facing the truth, many white MAGA supporters chose to weaponize the welfare myth to justify their own resentment towards other people, towards minorities. Now that the system that they have cheered for, voted for, is turning on them, it's like they're behaving as if they are shocked. But I'd say that nobody is shocked more than the people who told them that this would happen, who tried to warn them, that you think these policies are for us as black people, brown people, minorities. They're going to hit you hard, but they didn't listen, And I have learned something, that voting based on hate will always backfire, and it will always hurt the one that is carrying the hate. So this is what happens when people actually vote out of resentment, hate, instead of logic. When the priority is hurt the other side, you end up hurting yourself even harder. So what we are seeing is that MAGA supporters, genuinely believe that these cuts, the cuts and suspensions on welfare, would actually stop lazy people from taking advantage of the system, and they were not realizing that the people they're describing as lazy, unfortunately, it's their own communities, And the moment SNAP benefits got reduced or suspended, the first shockwave hit rural white America, the same people that actually voted, cheered for the cuts. And this viral mom is not just an isolated case. It's one that has come to the internet and has gained some virality on the internet. But there are thousands more who are slowly realizing that the people they voted for actually have zero compassion for them. Their own government does not care about them. So these Americans, reaction, the brutal laughter. So the internet did what it usually does: remind you the truth and laugh at you hard. Not because they're not laughing because someone can't afford the groceries, but because of the hypocrisy with these people. Because for years, these are the same voices that insisted that we don't need government help, we want less government spending, we are tired of supporting lazy people or people who don't work. And they are now the same people that are online and offline, begging for help, crying for support, demanding for empathy that they didn't have when or they didn't extend to the communities they targeted when they were buying the propaganda when voting. So now many Americans are just saying, this is the bed you made, you have to lie on it. So I personally think that this moment is bigger than one mom, one MAGA person crying. This is a symbol of political culture driven by propaganda, misinformation, hate, resentment, and false beliefs about who benefits from social safety nets, like SNAP. So MAGA supporters didn't, realize that they were the ones being targeted by the policies that they voted for themselves. They really thought that they were going to punish other people, minorities especially. But today, moment after moment, video after video, reality is showing them that you are never saving America. You are voting against your own interest, and now America is watching the consequences unfold, one viral meltdown at a time. Yeah, so that's just my take on it. And I don't know what you think about this. Do share with me your thoughts, your opinions in the comment section below, and I'd be happy to know what you're thinking about it. Yeah, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and you can share it as well. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're an old member, thank you for your continued support. Please subscribe if you haven't, to support us. So until next time, I'll see you in the next video.